Chris, what's going on?
I have no idea.
We having Facebook. This may be an issue. Well, we're live. Look like so.
Yeah. Apparently.
I guess we just keep going. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Second to None. Football week is over, and we're going to talk some football today. We got a new guest on here, Andrew, a South Carolina fan. Welcome, man. How you doing today?
I'm good. How you guys doing?
Man, doing well. Thank you so much for taking the time out to come on. I know this is not the best time for Gamecock fans, but we appreciate you coming to hang out with us and actually talking to us. Chris, what's going on, man?
Man, oh gosh, where do I start? If Andrew thinks he's got it bad, he ain't seen nothing yet.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about Vandy for a second. My fault. I could never forget about it. Well, look, I'm a Kentucky fan, so I have nothing to hang my head on right now at all. Like we may lose the rest of our games this year if we don't get it together.
At least you guys look like a football team last night.
We did, I mean, and I know we're gonna get into that in a few minutes, but it was just, it was a heartbreak. It really is. So things have really gotta really. So I would like to open up. Actually, Chris, we got an ad.
We actually do.
Okay.
Let's hear from Icy Breeze real quick.
Icy Breeze. Okay, let's go right fast.
Icy Breeze is the world's first portable air conditioner and cooler. A premium ice cooler that doubles as an eco-friendly portable air conditioner. This is not a swamp cooler, just blowing air across ice. Over 60 parts and components allow Icy Breeze to achieve what no other product in the world can do. The secret behind the Icy Breeze is an innovative design that circulates chilled ice water through a heat exchanger in the lid, replacing the Freon used in most ACs. Fresh air is drawn from hidden vents in the top of the cooler, pulled across the exchanger, and chilled down to 35 degrees cooler than the outside air. A 3-speed fan control delivers Icy Breeze's dry, cold air up to 25 miles per hour, just like a car AC. And a stay-put flex hose directs the breeze in any direction. Wherever you need it, Icy Breeze helps you beat the heat.
Okay, so I got a question about that Icy Breeze, Chris.
All right.
I'm about to go somewhere, and it's a little hot. Can I use it over there?
Apparently you can.
So
The commercials that had Coach Prime in it,
yeah,
they told him he could take it on the sidelines of the game and aim it at his players, the ones that were making plays, where he could cool them off and turn it away from the ones that weren't making plays.
That's selfish, bro. But hey, I guess you got to be motivated.
It can't be no more selfish than what he said last night.
What did he say last night, man?
Oh, he threw his offensive line under the bus.
Really? So
he said, our offensive line ain't any good, and the reality is the only way to get better is go out and get a new offensive line.
What? Wow, prime time is definitely prime time, huh? That's for sure.
I mean, to be real, he's not wrong.
No, he's not. Wow. Well,
that's a cold hard take right there.
We could have used the new a new defensive line last night for Kentucky against Tennessee. So I heard a question this week, guys, and I want to ask you both: if you guys could have a clone that could take over and do one job for you, what would it be besides work? I start with you, Andrew. What would you have a clone of you to do besides work that you don't want to do anymore?
I guess mine would be socialized with people.
Okay.
By myself and my family.
I got you. Chris, what about you?
Maybe some podcasting, because I take some of this stuff personal.
Yeah.
I take it hard sometimes. So let my clone do all my podcasts.
All of it. Just do it.
So he don't feel no kind of way.
Absolutely. I think I would have my clone to drive me around. I hate driving.
Okay. Okay.
I definitely would have him drive me everywhere I want to go at. I tell him just don't look at me and talk to me because that would be kind of odd. I don't want
Right.
to talk to myself. Yeah. So, well, guys, hey, I'm glad you guys was able to actually get on this today to talk about a little football. Another week is in the book, and it kind of is what it is. Some teams are continue to excel. Some teams are just, I guess, as they say, we are who we are. And
Stepping on my toes, sir.
Yeah.
My
I'm
feet
sorry.
hurt already.
oh, I guess we kind of are we are. So we got Andrew on, and we haven't had well, first of all, I want you to say that Second to None is almost due to our second year, and I don't think we've ever had a South Carolina fan on, have we, Chris?
He's the first.
You are the first South Carolina fan that has been on the show. So absolutely. So with that being said, why don't we just start talking about some football? And we're gonna start with you actually. So but we're gonna just cover the South Carolina and A&M game. What is your thoughts about the game, Andrew?
Well, first of all, we can't protect our quarterback. And without our quarterback, we probably wouldn't even have 2 wins. However, we have so many injuries. We only had +1 on the dress list. Like we were almost at the point to where we couldn't field a team.
Wow.
They decimated us this year. Like we have 0 depth. I think we've got something like 18 injured players.
God.
Our star wide receivers, both of them are out. Like 2 offensive linemen, 5 people on the defense. It's awful. But it was a noble effort to go into that environment and hold them to a bunch of field goals. However, a loss is a loss, and I can't stand it. We are currently with the top 10 recruiting class for next year, so we'll see if Beamer can build some depth. But right now, the program is just not good, and the injuries aren't helping.
Man. So
Okay.
I heard those guys talk about that you guys can't even practice correctly because you guys have so many people hurt.
Correct.
That's got to be crazy. I mean, we're talking about 2023, a D1 college, and they can't even practice because they don't have enough people. Wow.
If you remember, wasn't it like 2017 and 18 that Tennessee was in the same boat both years?
Yes.
Just bad. Couldn't even practice, huh?
Yeah, couldn't even practice because they didn't have enough players.
Yeah, and we have our scout team, but it's not the same.
No. It's definitely that's definitely a drop off, and that's why they're on the scout team for for that reason for sure. But I mean, it's South Carolina, it's A&M. A&M, they're not playing too bad of a ball this year at 5-3.
Now, sometimes you can find a gem on that scout team.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah, I will say that. Yes, you can.
At one point in time, Vanderbilt had a scout team quarterback that ended up being a 10-year starter in the NFL.
Wow. I mean, and that's a good point that you bring up the NFL, because I was just about to say that a lot of teams bring up people from the scout team, from the practice squad, and they turn out to be pretty good guys in the NFL once they get that chance. So I guess you really can't really take that away or whatever. But
Yeah.
I mean,
when Jay Cutler was a freshman, he was the quarterback of the scout team at Vanderbilt.
oh really?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's wild.
Hey, who do you guys have next, Andrew?
We have Jacksonville State, the very first ever.
Oh God.
Hey, you guys might get a win.
I know they're 7-2, and that's all fine and good, but we should win this game even with our injuries.
Yeah.
Our talent on the starters are way better than what they have. So I think we pull it out. We're already like a 14.5-point favorite. It's at home. I don't see any way that we don't show up and win this game.
Yeah.
So what happens to South Carolina fans if Jacksonville State comes in and UNLVs them?
Well, I mean, I don't know if you know a lot about South Carolina, but at one point we lost 21 straight games and sold out the stadium every single week. So they ain't going.
Okay. Do you think they run off Shane Beamer?
No. the guy's only in year 3, and he's barely got enough people to field a football team right now. That's really not a fair assessment of, hey, let's get rid of him because he has a bunch of injuries. Just unfortunate. It's not really a question of who he is, I don't believe.
Well, hopefully with the recruiting class that you guys have coming in next year, and people can stay healthy as well too. Maybe that will be a big deciding factor as far as the future for Beamer as well. So you got the guys coming in and everything. So hopefully that right there actually pays off for that. So we got to see what happens for the rest of the year for South Carolina. Kentucky still has to go see them. We still got to go there to play them. So, even with you guys as hurt players, that could be a win for you guys too if Kentucky doesn't show up to play for sure. That's just being a realist fan for sure.
We are supposed to get 9 people back in time for Vanderbilt. So
don't say that. Come on, I gotta have something to feel good about, man.
Give me just give me a little hope, you know what I'm saying? Don't steal all my joy today.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. Hey, as they say, hook a brother up with something. You know what I mean? Do something, absolutely. So hey, well that's good take on that football game. Let's see, what do we have up next, guys? Let's see. Mississippi State and Auburn. Auburn finally got their first SEC win yesterday against Mississippi State. Our War Eagle, Kenny, couldn't be on the thing today. And Chris, I was watching you guys talk yesterday, and I don't think he really understood that. I mean, you're playing Mississippi State. They're not all that great. Why are you getting excited about dissecting and being able to throw the ball against these guys like you're supposed to? They're not that good. What's your take on this game, Chris?
There might be a team in the SEC that's worse than both South Carolina and Vanderbilt. They're pretty bad.
I mean, it's. Hey, what about you, Andrew? What's your thoughts?
So we had 16 players injured when we played Mississippi State, and we still beat them. We barely had enough people to dress, and we were able to come out and I think we had 3 regular starters on defense and still pulled out the win. Mississippi State is not a good football team. The quarterback was injured. He was hobbling during the game for Auburn, so that makes it even worse. It's a win, and Auburn should celebrate the win. However, it's nothing to be like we're back over. No.
Yeah.
Throwing the quarterback, he threw for 230 yards, but 3 touchdowns. So, as Mississippi State, you're supposed to.
Yeah, it's Mississippi State. You're supposed to throw for 230.
So I'm looking at Mississippi State. Did that quarterback get hurt? I can't think of his name. Rogers.
Yes, he is injured, and Mike Wright has been playing.
Okay.
He started the last 2 games for him.
Okay, I was just going to say, first I was going to say, who? Right? Who is that? But then I remembered that they had a transfer over from so I mean, can you put it that Rogers is not playing or what?
You do know where Mike Wright came from, right?
He came from Vandy.
He won 2 SEC games at Vandy. So that tells you how bad Mississippi State is right now.
He's a legend.
Yeah, he's a legend.
Legend within itself. So they actually beat them 27-13. And like I said, I mean, it should have been worse than that.
Mississippi State fans have actually got their top 5 coaching list ready.
Really?
Yes.
Well,
exactly.
Because of the terrible tragedy. And so they really didn't do an extensive coaching search. So I agree with Chris here. I think that this was his 1 year, and I think they'll be moving on. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
You know who's number 1 on their fan wish list, right?
The fan wish list, Urban Meyer?
No, Lance Leopold from Kansas.
Really?
Wow.
Kansas.
Who was actually a finalist for the Vanderbilt job when we hired Clark Lee.
Kansas actually got a big win yesterday, just to kind of throw that out there. They was able to knock off Oklahoma, so that was a big win for those guys yesterday. I mean, Auburn is the 4-4 first SEC. I mean, they got 2 more games to win, and maybe they can make a bowl game. I don't know if they will or not, because let me see. They
got crappy teams. They got Arkansas, which is going to be a toss-up, and then they play somebody crazy like New Mexico State, which they should beat them.
They actually play you guys Saturday, Chris, don't they?
I got my fingers crossed. I've said all year that Vanderbilt wins that game. I can't say it out right now. I have to cross my fingers.
Yeah.
I hope we win that game.
I think Vandy fans actually probably cross their fingers too. Auburn fans do, because it's from week to week.
Or do you take the route that Florida fans have taken and say, hey, just beat us 56-0 and be done with it so we can get rid of our coach?
They could be. Yeah.
Which direction? Because this is not working.
This is, hey, as they say, this is not going to end well. One way or another, something's got to give in this game. So we're definitely going to see what happens with these two teams next week. Like I said, Vandy will be taking on Auburn, and Mississippi State plays. They actually play Kentucky next week. So we'll see what happens. Hey, it's a toss-up.
If Kentucky don't win that game, you got problems.
Yeah. People are definitely going to ask Mark Stoops coaching job if we lose that. But one thing about it, though, Kentucky doesn't play good down there, and we don't have a good track record. So this kind of is. But this year has got to be one of them years where we got to find a way to win this ball game for sure. And we're not going to have to play against Will Rogers. So maybe. Hey, so you saying there's a chance?
But do I need to remind you who Mike Wright beat last year?
He beat Kentucky last year. See, you know what?
Just to make you feel good.
Yeah, Chris, you know what I'm going to do for that? Because I was feeling good. I'm going to mute you right now, okay? I'm about to give you the mute. That's for sure. So we definitely going to see what these guys do next week. And we'll see what happens, man, for real. Auburn and Eagle, Kenny is happy that they got a W yesterday, but maybe he should slow down a little bit because it's not really that great of a win. So, okay, the next game we got Tennessee and Kentucky. Ugh. That hurt, man. As a Kentucky fan, that hurt because first of all, hearing Chris give Kentucky any type of credit is a plus. So our defensive line and our defense, Lurie had a good game yesterday, and no one can dispute that. Our wide receivers caught the ball. It's amazing how good a quarterback can look when the receivers catch the ball and then get some yards after catch. Our defense, not so good. Chris, go ahead and take that out.
Man, that Tennessee run game.
Oh, it's real.
That is real.
And that was the third string guy. That wasn't even like RB1. That was RB3 and just killed us.
It don't matter who they put out there running back.
Nope.
They're gonna chunk some yards on you.
Those guys, I mean, if it was a award for the best running back room in America, Tennessee would probably win it hands down.
Without question. And I think his name is Sampson. The one who really dissected Kentucky last night in the fourth quarter and just did what he wanted to do. Mm-hmm.
Man, dude, he ain't nothing but I think a sophomore. They said. I think I heard someone say. So, that's ugly. Andrew, what's your thoughts on that ball game?
Well, the one thing Josh Heupel does really well, and the reason the running backs look so well, is he recruits on the line. He says it over and over that's his bread and butter, and that's where he goes for his recruiting, and it shows. It pays dividends on both sides of the ball. I've watched Tennessee play a couple of games this year. They're just amazing, offense and defensive line, and it shows that's where he targets his recruiting. And also, their offensive scheme is so hard because you never know exactly where they're going to go. They'll spread it out to run it, and then they'll go in the I formation and throw it deep. And I think a lot of that scheme has to do with opening up the holes, and it's just very hard to defend.
And Milton didn't play a bad game last night because as a quarterback, like if you got the type of running backs that you do, you just do what you can as a quarterback. And I mean, he used his legs last night, and he beat us on several plays with with his legs. But he didn't get ahead of himself. He didn't try to do too much, because that's good. He has running backs that he's able to say, okay, just give him the ball, and it makes my life a lot easier. It made his life a lot easier by having those running backs back there. So anybody any Tennessee fans, I hope they. I mean, he didn't do too much last night, but he did. He stayed within his lane, and he didn't try to do too much. And he understands I don't need to be spectacular to beat Kentucky because of the guys behind me, and that's the game plan. And as you said, that line and everyone, they understood that hey, we got the momentum, we got the running backs, and they used all the tools that they had. Even the receivers was catching the ball, and As a Kentucky fan, they had one pass towards the end of the game. I think it was in the fourth quarter. I don't think that was I don't think that was a catch. But as a Kentucky fan, you have to be a realist, and you got to say, although they gave that guy that pass after going back and looking at it, that pass is not what's beat us. We just didn't wrap up, and we just didn't tackle like we were supposed to. So we can get upset about the no call and didn't get reversed. But we have to really say that we didn't tackle last night, and that's why Tennessee was able to beat us. And when there's no consolation, like, well, we played good, and we don't usually play good after a bye week. So to be able to actually say we played better than we have in a while after a bye, we did good, but we didn't win. So at the end of the day, Andrew, as you said earlier, a loss is a loss no matter how you look at it.
Right.
So one thing I've noticed about Tennessee, though, and it's turning into a trend.
Yeah.
They'll play really, really well in the first half. And then the second half, they go to sleep for whatever reason.
That sounds like Kentucky.
And it's becoming the trend. That's like three of the last 4 games I've seen them do that.
And it's crazy because if we just would have just wrapped up, because I mean, we had them stop, we had them hit. And if we just would have wrapped up and not just try to hit them off our shoulder pads, it could have been 3 and out a long time ago, and we could at least gave ourselves a chance to actually have an opportunity to go down and drive and win the ball game. But
so what you're saying is you were playing football like Silo Sanders was.
How did he play?
He just went out and chest bumped that dude and hit the top of his helmet, hit the guy in the chin, and they tossed him.
I heard that.
All he did was shoulder block him.
And
I don't know, man. I saw that replay. I think he hit him with his shoulder pad. I think that was a bad.
I think it was a bad call. I don't think it was targeting, but it's the type of tackle. He just shoulder blocked him. He didn't wrap him up at all. He just with the shoulder, and that was it.
Just put that shoulder, huh?
Yep.
But it was a bad call. But the reason it got called is because he launched.
Oh, okay.
But he didn't help. He didn't target him. It was a terrible call. However, in the moment, he did launch, and then he did some flexing and like the whole thing.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So he brought a lot of extra unnecessary attention to himself. They said maybe we should look at this. You know what I'm saying? What are you so excited about? And so sometimes you get football players. I understand we get in the moment and we get hyped because we make a big hit, whatever. But sometimes you gotta just be humble, get up and just play the next play. You know what I'm saying? Don't bring no undue attention because you don't know what these referees are feeling like that day. And just the smallest little thing.
Yep.
So so Tennessee is now eligible to go to a bowl, which I don't think it was any doubt that those guys wasn't going to go to a bowl or whatever. But next week, they play UConn next week, so that should be that should be a win. And Kentucky goes to Mississippi State, if I'm correct. Yeah, we got to go down to Starksville. So we'll see what happens. Another late game. It sucks having a late game just and lose.
Right.
Then I got to go right to bed because I'm angry. You know what I'm saying? Like I hope I wake up in the morning. I hope this is not my last emotions for my life.
And see, I'm just the opposite. If we play a late game and play like trash, I can't go to bed. I got to get it out of my system.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, can we please win this ball game so it could be a better night for sure? All right. So
pull up my YouTube music and do a little bit of music therapy.
You got to cleanse yourself a little bit of what just happened. Ole Miss and Vandy.
Well,
I know the feeling, bro. I know the feeling. Chris, was it ever a chance that you thought maybe you guys could hang around and somehow win this ball game?
No. I mean, I thought we would play better. I thought, for Ole Miss to be the team that holds us to 7 points when nobody else has held us like that all year long. Not even Georgia did. That's the stunning part for me, especially coming off the bye.
Okay.
Now, what I will say is Clark Lee needs to make a decision, and he needs to make a decision quick. Because this here playing merry-go-round with quarterbacks is not going to work. Okay? A.J. Swan, if he's injured, set him out, be done with it for the year. But Ken Seals is not that guy. He went 0-10 as a freshman. He didn't win a game as a sophomore. That's why he got replaced by Mike Wright. He hadn't won a game this year. Ken Seals is not that guy. So what I did like, there's only two things that I liked last night. Kane Patterson came back from injury, playing alongside his brother Langston. Langston had a monster game last night. 10 tackles. I think he had a forced fumble, a sack. He played lights out. So I like that aspect, him stepping up in the absence of C.J. Taylor. But check this out. I got a play I want to show you.
Okay.
We went to our third string quarterback. Third string. He's a redshirt freshman. This kid is 6'7", and check out how he takes out this linebacker.
Walter Taylor, he is every bit of 6'6", 6'7", 240, and watch him finish off this run.
He's the future of Vandy.
Man,
boy,
he just straight ran over that linebacker.
He let that guy have it.
Yes.
But what we're supposed to do is that linebacker. This guy's barely towards you. Just get him down.
Yeah.
Right. Just hold on for dear life, right?
That's when you go for the shoulder for sure. Let me just get this tackle down. Hey, and if they call targeted, so be it. Whatever. I ain't gotta hit it no more. I'm looking at the stats, Chris, and you guys only threw for 60 yards. I guess that kind of backs up what it is you guys.
Ken Seals is not that guy.
Yeah, I mean, but you guys had 175 yards rushing though last night. So, it was.
Yeah.
It was collectively. You guys. Ole Miss, man. Ole Miss, they're one of those teams that they're just hanging around. They're just each week they're flying under the radar. What you got, Andrew?
I was, a lot to defend Vanderbilt here a minute, and to what you were just about to say. Ole Miss is a top 10 team.
Yeah.
Like they just going out beating people, and normally when that happens on a Lane Kiffin team, like you get all the smoke because he likes to jaw.
Yeah,
he's saying nothing, which means I think they're dangerous this year. I think they're a legit top 10 team. I mean, holding all these teams to low scores in the SEC is outrageous. Where did this defense come from? They're dangerous.
They are. I think their only loss is to Alabama. Yeah. So, I mean, I think they're actually ranked higher than Alabama too, aren't they? They was. No, I think Alabama was a little higher than them.
Yeah. I think they're 2 spots above them.
Yeah.
So we're kind of in a dangerous spot right now. We got 3 games left. We got Auburn, we've got South Carolina, and we've got Tennessee.
That's rough.
We're in a dangerous spot. If we don't catch at least one of them, you're looking at a 2-win season to back up being 1 game away from a bowl last year. And that kind of regression is not acceptable in the SEC. And when you're spending $300 million to upgrade facilities, you can't go into those new dubs with that kind of track record.
No,
it doesn't generate excitement for the fans. And changes aren't made, I don't know what's going to happen.
Are you seeing changes for Clark Lee?
Either he needs to fire his entire staff, or he needs to go.
Wow.
You're gonna have to catch Auburn or South Carolina. The matchup with Tennessee is not a good one, especially with line and offense. And so you're gonna have to catch one of the next two.
Yeah.
Or it's just it's gonna be bad, like you said. And same way with us, man. If we should beat Jacksonville State. I mean, and then we got Vanderbilt and Kentucky, and we get some of our injured players back, so it gives me a little bit of hope. But we have to win out to go to a bowl. Like, we have to beat Jacksonville State, Vanderbilt, Kentucky, and Clemson in success to make a bowl game. And luckily for us, Clemson does not look good. I think we have a better shot at beating Clemson than Kentucky. But,
Thank you. Thank you.
It's just true. Like, how the hell do you lose to NC State? Like, I'm sorry, that don't make no sense. It's not a good football team.
That's not a good football team. Hey, those kind of losses make you give yourself a hug.
I do have some good news for you.
Okay,
Andrew. So I caught the press conference from Dabo Swinney yesterday, and I thought he said something interesting that you would like to hear. So let me go ahead and play that for you real quick.
Look, there's really no way to sugarcoat that thing. The turnovers, our red zone calls. Let's face it, we had a good run, but we're back to just straight up Clemsoning.
Oh, your AI?
Wow.
We're straight up Clemsoning.
Oh, that means you guys are pretty much nobody. Yeah.
The problem is they're devastated with injuries too, and they're supposed to come back just in time for us. So yay us!
And doesn't it always fall like that?
Yes.
Like the best players are out, and then as soon as your team is playing them, oh, we're back and we're fresh and we're ready to go, and then they come out and they try to make up for everything they missed the last 3 weeks by destroying you. I tell you, that's that stuff I don't like right there. Like if you out 3 weeks, you should be able to have to stay out the whole season. You shouldn't be able to come back and play no more. At least not against my team. Spare my team the embarrassment of coming back. Yeah, he's been hurt for 3 weeks. Oh, he came out there, he had 300 yards. Like, oh my God. like, are you sure he was hurt? he was really hurt. So
I got to roll. Thank you for letting me come on.
Absolutely, Andrew.
No
welcome anytime. I appreciate it. Okay.
Coming,
Hey, good luck for the rest of the year.
Hey, y'all too.
All right. Go
Catch you
Cats.
later, Andrew.
See ya.
All right. That was fun, man. That's a good guy, Andrew. Thanks for coming on. I really appreciate it. So, yeah. Okay, what we got next, Chris? I think this is the last one. Georgia and Florida. The cocktail party, huh?
It wasn't much of a cocktail party yesterday.
No, it really wasn't, man. It was, I think even without Brock, these guys are still hitting their stride, bro. And like, still rolling, man. 25 in a row.
Lad McConkey, he stepped up yesterday to fill them shoes for Brock Bowers. Everything Brock gave him, Lad did for him yesterday.
That guy can, when I, maybe last year or whatever, when I first learned about who he was and him playing football, I was just like, if I had a fantasy college football team, he would be one of my receivers, bro. He was just so reliable, and he ain't missed a beat. I mean, I guess as a Georgia, as their team, they understand, Brock is the guy, but they still want to win 3 in a row. So they understand that they got to step up and they have to be able to play football. So it's Georgia just being Georgia, man. Georgia still rolling.
Yeah. What's scary is even when they were winning earlier in the year, they were averaging like 9 and 10 players out per game with injury. Even yesterday's injury report had 12 guys listed on it as either questionable, doubtful, or out. And it's like, and you go out and you do this. It's like, come on, man.
Florida just didn't look good yesterday, man.
A lot of that had to do with who they were playing.
Yeah, absolutely. It really does. Do you think Georgia's going to repeat, man? Hold on. This is a 2-part question. Are they going if they win out? Will they get the number 1 seed in the playoffs? Do you just have to give it to them if they win out?
If they win out, you have to give it to them.
Okay.
But whether they do or not, it's another story.
Yeah, I think so too.
If they're sitting at 13-0, you have to give them the number 1 seed.
You have to. Yeah, that's scary, man. Because those guys, they playing with a mission, and that's Georgia. They really want that 3-peat bad.
And you look at their schedule to end the year. They got Ole Miss, which is a top 10 team. Well, they're ranked anyway. They should be in the top 10.
They got Missouri next.
They got Missouri, who's at number 14 this week.
Yes, I just seen that. Wow.
And then you got the SEC championship. That's either going to be Alabama, Ole Miss, or LSU. That's another top 20 game. I mean, if they run the table and go undefeated, sitting at 13-0, I don't see how you keep from giving them the number 1 seed.
I agree. If you had to say they play Missouri at Missouri, no, they play Missouri at home, Ole Miss at home, at Tennessee on the road, and Georgia Tech. If you had to pick one of those teams to get them, who would you say?
I'd have to flip a coin between Missouri and Georgia Tech.
Really?
Yes.
That's so are you already saying that they're going to beat Ole Miss and Tennessee for sure?
Oh yeah.
They're at Tennessee.
But Tennessee don't have Tennessee's got some Jimmies going against Georgia's Joes.
I got you. Okay. And Georgia's up front is pretty good. So that's going to definitely good. That's going to be the tail of the tape. It's going to be their running backs against Georgia's defense. Can Georgia stop them? And yeah. I think if Georgia can stop them,
I think they did pretty good. I think they did a pretty good job stopping Trevor Etienne last night.
Oh, they did a really good job yesterday.
They smoked him.
Yeah, and Etienne, he's not a bad running back, man.
No, not at all.
No, he's not. He's definitely not a bad running back. And Florida is 5. Well, Florida still has one more win to go to bowl. They still got Georgia. Well, they just played Georgia. They still got Arkansas, LSU, Missouri, and Florida State. So they may just beat Arkansas and then make it to the bowl and lose out.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I think so. That's going to be interesting to see, man. But do you think the SEC is going to win the national championship this year? Do you think somebody is going to win it from the SEC, or are you saying this? Do you think it's going to go outside this year?
If there ever was a year where you stop that trend, I think Ohio State's capable.
But they didn't even do too good yesterday, though.
I think Ohio State's capable.
Okay.
I think Michigan, if Michigan gets in, I think they're capable.
Okay.
And I don't know. I don't know about Washington. Their defense isn't that great.
Okay.
They had another tough one last night.
They did have a tough one last night.
With
yeah.
Stanford.
They took the whole ball game.
Oregon, they're flashy.
Bo Nix is out there playing ball, man.
But we've seen Bo Nix play SEC teams before, and it wasn't pretty.
Well, so, I tell you somebody that won't be playing for the national championship, and that's USC, and I'm okay with that.
Shots fired. Shots fired.
I'm so glad we won't be seeing those guys, and I think everybody in the nation was rooting for USC to lose last night. But they found a way to win.
They could get back in the picture if everything falls just right. They could end up winning the Pac-12.
It could be, yeah.
And I think all they got to do is get there.
That's it. Yep.
If they get there, they got a chance.
And they do got Caleb, so you got to give him props for what he does.
I mean, throw 3 interceptions against Notre Dame, I'll take that all day.
I will too, right? Please throw it. So, absolutely.
There are 2 SEC teams that need to be brought to the forefront a little bit.
Okay.
So there's 2 teams currently in the SEC that don't have a win.
Who are they?
Are you ready? Are you ready to see them?
I'm ready to see which SEC teams do not have a win.
Let me unveil this for you.
Okay. Okay. Still waiting on the win.
I'm going to be dead and gone and nothing but bones.
You going, huh?
On a win.
That's it. Looks like Arkansas has hope.
But do you know what's intriguing about that picture?
What is that?
Since the start of the 2011 season,
Okay.
Arkansas has finished dead last in the SEC more times than anybody else.
Really?
That's happened 4 times.
It looks like they had it that way this year too, huh?
Do you know who second on that list is?
You? Vandy?
Vanderbilt with 3 of them.
Oh, Arkansas, man. I tell you, this is not the days of Derek McFadden for sure. Those days are long gone. Yeah. That's funny, man. So, well, I mean, it's we got 4 more weeks to go for the season, and some teams are, while it seems like it's going to be easy to get to, seem like that it would be easy to get that 6th win to get a bowl. It ain't gonna be easy for some teams to get that bowl eligible. They're gonna have to fight and scrap, and they're gonna have to try to see can they get that bowl win. And at the end of the day, you might only get 6 wins, but at least you can go bowling and you get at least one more game. But it's gonna be hard for some teams, especially. So even as a UK,
I know who's not going bowling.
Well, hey, I ain't got no wood.
Well,
but,
let me rephrase that. It doesn't look like they're going to go bowling.
Okay.
At this point in time,
you would have to win out.
There's always the possibility of getting the APR bowl if not enough teams qualify.
I got you. Okay.
However, that would require winning out. I just don't see that happening.
Yeah, I got you. But you got,
we got 7 losses already.
For real. For real. So, well, that's the games that we had for this weekend. It's always exciting times here in the SEC, and never know what's going to happen from week to week. To close us out, Chris, you want to close us out this week, man? I can. If
go for it.
Okay. So you always do it. So I was like, well, Chris got it. He's always got the closeout. So I would have to say that for Kentucky. And usually I don't try to get really too caught up in Kentucky when I'm doing the show. I try to stay neutral. But if Kentucky has any hopes of making a bowl game, those guys inside that locker room, they got to figure this out. Mm-hmm. We have lost 3 games in a row now, and we've been begging our offense to get it together because our defense has been keeping us in ball games. And the one game that the offense stands up and keeps us in a ball game and gives us a dying chance to beat Tennessee, our defense lets us down.
So can I remind you of something?
Yes, please.
Your defense carried you in another ball game where after the game I said you weren't very good.
Okay.
That's the last win you had.
Was that against you guys?
That was against Vanderbilt.
Well, I guess so Georgia, Missouri, Tennessee.
Yep.
That's a gauntlet, man, of a schedule. Of course, we could have won last night. We definitely should have beat Missouri, but if you don't win, then you can say what you want to say. You didn't get the W.
Right.
And that's all that matters. So
I do have some housekeeping notes I need to take care of.
Okay, go ahead.
So, if you're watching this, we're part of College Football Dogs. College Football Dogs will have their College Football Dogs podcast on Tuesday night, 6 p.m. 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central. This week is going to be pretty fun. We're having a Halloween Spooktacular.
Oh, that's going to be fun.
Our resident Auburn fan, Kenny, will be smashing a pumpkin over his head.
Oh, my goodness, Kenny.
We will be giving away some gift cards for karaoke contest and costume contest. So if you're into having fun like that, viewer discretion is advised. If you want to watch the show, because we do get pretty creative sometimes and say some pretty wacky things.
Yeah.
But, come out and watch us on Tuesday night. Also, I have a podcast myself with
yes.
Mr. Cody Silvinsky and George Hancock. We call it the Golden Boot Podcast. It's part of College Football Dogs as well, and also the Golden Media Sports Network. We do our shows. We are beginning this week 2 shows a week instead of just 1. We'll be going Monday night at 9:30 Eastern time, 8:30 Central, and again on Friday night with our preview show. Friday nights will be preview. Monday nights will be recap. And it'll be the same time on Friday night at 8:30 Central, 9:30 Eastern. Come out and give us a watch. If you like reading material, go to collegefootballdogs.com and check out some of our fantastic authors. They do a great job doing.
They do a really good job. They put a lot of effort into that. Yeah, a lot of content, man. Those guys are pushing out some articles. Yeah.
And come in the spring of the year, we'll have College Football Dogs app that's coming out. So be watching for that. A lot of big things going on here at College Football Dogs, and just wanted to take care of some housekeeping notes there.
Well, there you go, man. Yeah, you guys are overall College Football Dogs, man. You guys are growing, man. You guys are doing your thing, and of course, you guys just started.
And another one, College Sports Villains. That's who Andrew is. It was on with us a little bit earlier.
Absolutely, yeah.
He does a show on Thursday nights as well. So give us all a follow, and next time jump off in them comments and tell us what you're thinking.
It really helps out a lot too, as well too, because we can feed off what the comments are, and that can be a lot of fun too. And it becomes basically a two-way conversation, not just with the guys on the screen, but with the people that's commenting. And definitely, if your comments are coming through, they're definitely going to put them up on the screen, and recognize that you made a comment and help other people to comment. So, so thank you, hey Chris, I appreciate it, man. I really do. I think you said you're at your daughter's house.
My stepdaughter's house.
Your stepdaughter's house.
Visiting today.
Yeah.
Got a message earlier this week. I want to see my mama.
Okay.
We came down here to visit today.
Cool. That's awesome. I hope you guys have safe travels home and all of that and everything. So, well, until next time, Second to None says thanks for joining. Thanks for your comments. Thanks for your likes and your support. Same time again next week, 4:00 Eastern, 3:00 Pacific or Central. And we look forward to more SEC football and diving deep into it as we get closer to the end of the season and getting ready for bowl and playoff season. So I'm your host, Mike, and we say thank you. And you guys have a wonderful afternoon, and go SEC. We're out. Thanks, Chris.